Are you paying high prices for gluten-free baking options? After I found out that I had celiac disease, I started paying higher prices for things that I used to only eat when I was broke, like macaroni and cheese. Today I'm going to show you how I figured out a way to use something that's gluten-free, and I got way too much of it from the food bank. Well, let's see, is it any good? How does it look? It's not real red anymore. It's moist. And most of us don't really care to eat it. And it even sounds kind of gross, but I tried it and it worked perfectly right from the start. Hi, my name is Carol and the name of my channel is Broke but Bountifully Blessed. My channel is all about sharing the ways that I save money so that I can survive on a fixed income that I get from Social Security now that I'm retired. But many of these items can be used by anybody from any age. This video was made for the hashtag CakeFest2026, which is hosted by Tina from Life in the Piedmont and Tammy from Mountain Grandma. Thank you, ladies, for inviting me to join. This has been a lot of fun. I've been watching all the videos and I'm getting a lot of great ideas. And I'm really excited for that live giveaway that's coming up on March 3rd at 6 o'clock. So be sure to watch all the videos and leave some positive comments for your chance to win some great prizes. So I came up with this recipe several years ago when I was gifted over 40 pounds of green split peas. And after 2 months of giving out green split peas, they started giving me yellow ones. Now I can only eat so much split pea soup myself. What I really wanted was some bread and some treats like some muffins. And I was already making flatbread from red lentils. So I figured it couldn't be that hard to make them into muffins. And I'll tell you, it's really unusual for this to happen, but that first batch really turned out perfect. And I've been making them that way ever since. Partly to try and use up all of the split peas, which I almost have. But it's gluten-free and it's free and it's cheap and it's easy. So when I was asked to do this collab, I figured turning that recipe into a cake wasn't going to be that hard. But it was too dense to cook all the way through the middle. I even left one of the cakes in the oven for 3 hours and it still wasn't finished. But I'll tell you, that raw dough is still tasty and there's no eggs in it. So in addition to the split peas, I added a can of fruit. And I originally planned on making an apple cake with one of the 6 cans of applesauce that I had up in the cupboard. But I tried 6 times and failed. This just wasn't working out. It just wasn't baking all the way through. Well, I kept playing around and I got the recipe right, but I'm out of applesauce. So I tried something else that you wouldn't expect that I've gotten too much of from the food pantry. But you'll have to wait till the end to find out what I used. So when I gave up sugar, I replaced the cup of sugar that I was using with a half a cup of raisins. And I pureed them at the same time that I pureed the split peas. And it added the perfect amount of sweetness, but it also added fiber, and it was more than half as many calories. Okay, we're going to start by adding 2 tablespoons of flaxseed and give them a little mix. So I'm going to wash them. They are pretty dirty. Just look at how dirty that water is. Keep rinsing until the water finally comes clear. Then add 3 cups of fresh, clean water. And put it in the microwave for about 30 minutes. I'm too lazy to look for the 0, so 33 minutes and 33 seconds is perfect. Once it's done, I like to let it cool for at least a half an hour. Then I'll add it to my food processor. Then we'll add a teaspoon of baking soda. I'm going to add half a cup of raisins, and I'm going to puree them because I just want the sweetness. Here's where you can be versatile. Just use any can of any fruit or vegetable. And then a tablespoon of real lemon. And don't forget that flax egg that we mixed up in the beginning. Or if you can eat eggs, you could just add a couple of real eggs. I think I know why it's not working when I press the button. That's much better. And don't forget to regularly scrape down the sides. I'll have the correct recipe in the description and in the comments. I sometimes add it to a bowl before I add in the mix-ins. When I have applesauce, I like to add in some sliced apples. Next, I'll generously spray a 9x9 baking pan. Then I'll just pour in my batter. Oops, I almost forgot the add-ins. And for this red cake, I thought cranberries would be good. And since I scored some walnuts at a food bank, I'll add those too before they go bad. Then I'll stir them in. I preheated the oven to 350 degrees, and this should take about an hour. Okay, now we're going to make the topping for the cake. Now remember, I came up with this recipe by just using things I had on hand, and most of the things that I had on hand I got from a senior stock box. One of the things they gave me was raisins. So for the sweetness, I'm going to add a half a cup of raisins and 1/4 cup of water to my blender. Put the lid on because we don't want it getting all over. And give it a whirl. Let's scrape it down a few times to make sure we get everything in there. So it got pretty brown. It's pretty dry on top, so put this on top and spread it around. So if you don't like raisins, you could do this with dates. Okay, one of the reasons I like to use this cake pan for it is it has a little plastic lid. I had another one like this and I accidentally baked with it in there and it exploded. I had to toss it out. Just in case you haven't figured it out, my secret ingredient was a can of beets. The raisins and craisins are really good in there. I'll make it again. I've got 3 more cans of beets. I'll have to. I don't taste beets. And I don't taste green split peas.